Esther.
I'm Nick.
And we are Fouch-O-Matic Off-Grid, or Fouch Family Off-Grid. We are back again to have a conversation. We really want to talk about why we are off-grid, because if we can't do that, why bother?
Right. It matters, I guess. Well, why do it, I guess?
The
is
why
question.
matters.
Right. Why?
But first, we're going to do a quick rundown on what we've been up to and how things are going for those who really like the details of the ins and outs of our homestead life.
So last week's list we shared with you, we killed it. It was amazing. The check marks were flying. The pen was hot from all the check marks. It was really just a couple of projects. I mean, 2 project-y things and finishing up some driveway work and stuff, but when those things hang around for a long time, then that sucks. So to get them actually off the list that's great.
He's also chipping away at those things that you don't even want to admit need done. For example, Stella has had a broken drawer in her dresser
For weeks.
for a long time.
She didn't even tell me about it for a long time. I went up there and looked around in her room and was like, why are these clothes on the floor? She said, because of my broken drawer.
Dad?
With that's how she sounds too. And I didn't realize that was happening. So got that fixed up.
So this week we have a birthday to celebrate, we have a Star Wars movie to go to, we have a Christmas tree to decorate, and we're helping my dad move. So it's a lot of really normal, awesome family stuff.
And we're moving forward on kids' Christmas gifts. They're all making a gift for a cousin, and so they're getting varying degrees of assistance with those, but we're moving forward on those.
So that actually is on the project list, and we'll probably share with you. I haven't decided whether I can make sure that the cousins don't watch videos or if we have a spoiler issue with showing those projects, but they're pretty cool. I think you'll like to see them.
The project that came over from last week is the welding cart. I have a plan. It's a loose plan. It's an idea to turn the hand truck that I've been pulling the welder around on into a legit welding cart, sort of an all-terrain welding cart for going out into the areas that I go to. All of the stuff that I've bought with little tiny casters on it it's useless to me. So I'm going big knobby wheels, and it'll get anywhere I need it to go.
It's kind of snowing.
It's snowing a little bit. I think it's
Are we okay?
blowing off of the trees.
Okay.
I don't think it's really dropping.
All right. We came outside because I can't say to another person that steel pole in the picture is not our chimney pipe.
Right. Anytime that we do talking videos upstairs and we like to show off the ceiling, the spiral staircase pole is usually in the shot, and people mistake it for the chimney pipe. And if that were the case, it would be done wrong, but it's a stair pole, so it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Get off our
All
backs.
right, everybody, settle down. Hey, why are we off grid?
I thought I was going to ask you that.
Oh.
I usually ask the questions. Why are we off grid?
You have a way easier job
Okay.
asking the question.
I suppose I do. We wanted to have a conversation about why we're off grid because I think that, honestly, off grid means a lot of different things to different people. And that if we had something that we wanted to share, that we wanted to give people, it's some of the perspective that we have that causes us to think this kind of lifestyle is worth it. And one of the things that makes this lifestyle worth it to us is that we've tasted it. We've felt it. We know what it is. Once you shut out the noise and get kind of that that hamster wheel energy out of your system and have a little bit of independence and personal freedom, especially in your mind space, once you know what that is, you want it.
Right. There's kind of no going back. For me, when we first made this move, we needed sort of an extreme change from our old patterns. And so my idea was to just strip it down to nothing and to start from scratch, sort of reintroducing the things that we liked as we rediscovered them. But to start from nothing. So that's why we moved out into the woods, into a tent, a yurt, and had no power, no running water, and we heated with wood, and it was pretty primitive there for a while. And then we got to choose the comforts that we wanted to add back in. And I think for one, learning to go without, that really teaches you a lot about what you need. And then choosing the things that you do want to include, it just inherently makes your footprint smaller.
I think one of the scary things about living in the place and time that we live in is that commercials and advertising are so ever present that you can sort of lose touch of what your actual desires are. And we're constantly being fed, you need such and such, you must have this, you can't be happy without this. And,
And not just by commercial interests, and not just by advertisers, but by regulations and by code and things. There's a whole lot of shouldas out there, or what you really need is, and we're just out of practice answering that for ourselves.
So there's really been a voyage of discovery for us. And I mean, those of you who have followed us for a long time know that. A lot of questions. Who are we really? What do we need? It didn't feel right. And we knew that there was something toxic about pursuing as much material possessions and a certain kind of comfort that we were in a previous lifestyle. But you don't know which thing it is. You don't know what it is.
Right. There's so many things that are just assumed that are a part of your daily life that it's hard to sort it out when you're still in the middle of it.
So I think the simple answer to why are we off-grid is because we needed our own minds. We needed independence in our mind space, in our ability to define our own, our daily lives, moment to moment. We needed to be in control of who we are and what we're doing.
I guess why we were off-grid in the beginning makes a lot of sense. I mean, power just wasn't here, and we spent all our money to get here, and so it's still a significant expense to bring power in. But I still like the idea that we can, even if we're using fossil fuels to generate power, at least we're seeing that. At least that's an action that we take to make something happen. And so when we don't want to be running juice into every outlet, we shut the thing off. I think that you could be really conservative with grid power, but I like that we have to do something in order to make that happen. It's not unlike, I guess I've made this comparison before, it's not unlike carrying your water. Once you've carried your water for, I don't know,
3 years.
Yeah, we carried water for a long time. You're keenly aware of how much water is used, how much energy it takes to move water from point A to point B. And then even when you can turn the faucet on and it comes out, you're way more conservative with it. I think it's not unlike that with any resource. If you've had to do the work to produce it yourself, then then you know.
I also think that as I have observed our family life, so our relationship and relationships with the kids and just health, feelings of happiness and satisfaction and being able to do the things we want to do, I think that electrical appliances have really risen as a bad guy for me in terms of what makes us grumpy, what causes conflict, what stresses us out. Having lived life completely without the internet and then also completely without electricity, I mean, we've seen these kind of extremes. And I am also very concerned about our food supply, and I feel that having clean food is a great way to have a healthy, joyful life. But over the course of these few years off grid, I've come to really observe what kind of electrical appliances there are around me, how many things are humming, how many things are buzzing, how many things are blinking. And it really does affect our sense of peace and satisfaction. And it really affects the kids. So I like having as little as possible. I think that's the peace and joy that we're looking for as a family really comes with turning things off.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we value handmade things.
Yes.
We value seeing the result of our labor.
Yes.
And we value, I guess you could simply say, free thinking. So we kind of have a lookout for things that control or seek to control our thoughts or actions, or most of the time our money. So we just have our eyes and ears tuned to those things that are looking to influence us. And when we're influenced by them, or it sort of sets our radar off, I guess we just take a closer look and say, why does that have an effect on me? And does it have a place in my life? And where do I go from here, basically? But I think, like I was saying about sort of reintroducing all of those comforts in when we first moved out here, and as we move into the house, we're living a little bit more like suburban folks, with a house and running water and all of that. Yeah,
that's what he means by suburban
showers
folks.
And things.
Still no deodorant, but showers.
No, deodorant.
Deodorant. That's way too much.
That's people selling you stuff. Right. So, like the instructions on shampoo, for example.
Rinse and repeat.
Repeat if necessary. Well, of course I have to repeat. I have to use 3 and 4 times as much of this product, and then I run out, and then I buy more. But so it's just, for us, it's just looking carefully at the things that come in and out of your life, and are you comfortable with what it costs to make that happen? And for us, if our hands didn't get in there and make it just right for us, then it really doesn't have a place here.
I find that pretty inspiring, actually. I do. But I would add one value. He said that we appreciate handmade things and we appreciate seeing the efforts of our laborers, but for us, this is our way of valuing humans. We think humans are awesome. Humans are capable of a lot, and we're precious. Every one of us are really precious. And so part of that is valuing the things that we can do and respecting what we can do and believing in our own capacities. And part of that is being careful with our work. We don't want our work to be wasted, and we don't want it to belong to anybody who doesn't value it. And so that causes us to make certain decisions in regards to purchasing as best we can to respect and value the people at the other end. And it also affects how we treat our family relationships, which are the the center, right? We want to live a life where people matter. And we're not just extra machines in a machine-based world.
Yeah.
I might have just cried. It might have just happened. These things are really important to us. Obviously, I carried water for 3 years and lived without electricity, and so it's not just a game. We're not out here playing some kind of a game. We're really trying to live a good life.
It's not a movie set, although I could make one. So that's confusing.
Right. Well, we better bring it there because I'm sure my makeup is going to start to run now. But we appreciate you all. And if you're out there thinking that there's got to be a better way to live, or, there's got to be a way to live out your own values, there's certainly nothing easy about the life we've lived, and we don't recommend anybody follow our path, but we can be company for you. If you want to believe that hard things are possible and it's worth taking small steps to live the life you want to live, then we'll be your companions in that.
Absolutely.